Going on YouTube? John here. Finally getting back to doing the updates. My long overdue update. Busy making a 7-dust record, and we've had some fish come and some fish go, and some new additions and some things have moved around, and we've lost a few along the ways. But anyways, figured it's about time to get back to it. Figure I'd go in reverse this time. This is our 300 gallon. Mostly ornatum. We do have 3 other fish in here. We've got a Melman, our largest big spot. We have a Sinispillium, and then we have one of our keepers from, this is actually Scarlet and Triton. This was actually, excuse the algae in there, this was number 2 in line. His older brother did a pretty good job of beating him to death and keeping food from him, and his older brother just really didn't show that much potential. He had size on this guy, but this guy is just really starting to come into his own. He's in full breeding dress, which is funny. He's been showing off for a couple of these ornatum in here, but I'll be looking for a girl for him for sure, because I think he's going to look just like his daddy did. So, but anyways, yeah. Other than those guys, we have the 4 ornatum going on in here. This one's been taking the brunt of most of the aggression. Seems to be the odd one out. This one seems to fare okay, the smallest one. Not real sure if that's male or female. Gonna go out on a limb and say that this is male, and the larger, fatter one over here is female. My guess female on this one is only because this guy over here is constantly showing off for this one. Could be aggression, but I don't know. Shape-wise, I'm thinking it's possible, but I don't really know enough about these guys. I'm just I'm happy to have them, keep them. They've really kind of started to show some potential up in this tank. Yeah, you can see him over there doing his deal. So that's my first indicator that it's possible that might be a female. But we really haven't seen a whole lot of pairing activity between these guys. This one, the largest, or I should say the longest, because this one, if that is a female, she's definitely got the girth on her for sure. But we'll see. These guys have been really kind of catching up in here. Everybody in this tank has been mostly eating Southern Delight, Veggie Krill, and power feed. A little bit of large cichlid thrown in for the big spot and the Sinispillium, even though the Sin actually eats mostly the veggie stuff too. But we've got Jaws, our big common, in here. That was a rescue fish. This fish was in a 60-gallon African cichlid tank that a buddy of mine had. It was probably about 6 or 8 inches long, and I'd say Jaws is pushing, I don't know, maybe about 16 inches now. And yeah, he's probably going to stay in this tank no matter what's in this tank, unless I actually use this tank for these guys. If we do happen to get a pair and they start to spawn, and then I'll have to figure out what to do with them. But other than that, this is his house. He's been in this tank for, I don't know, probably longer than any other fish in here. But that's that. We'll go in here. We'll see if anybody is actually out. Yeah, you can see. He's an interesting trimac. He's super camera shy at this point. You can see he's going to go over there he's going to hide behind the wood. We have 3 trimacs in here now. He's the largest. We have one smaller male, and then we have a female that usually hide down underneath that piece of wood. Hasn't really warmed up yet. Or actually, he warms up when I sit over here and I work, if I'm working on music or doing whatever. But as soon as he sees a camera, he usually goes and decides to pull this maneuver. Just kind of the shy guy. The other 2 are hiding, I'm sure, because he's probably been chasing. They usually hide back down there under that rock or up underneath that piece of wood. You can see him a little bit here. He's a Raps. He's a really cool fish. Beautiful. looking fish and see if he'll come out for me. There we go. Yeah, we you know, losing Bowser was tough. That one kind of came out of left field, but we were super happy that we had, you know, a handful of these guys that were kind of coming up behind, and this one was showing some pretty good potential. So we'll see how it goes. If I can get lucky enough and get the female, you can see the females down there under that piece of wood. If I can get them to pair out, it'd be cool. If not, they are brother and sister, so I wouldn't mind having some new blood in. And I know I've seen a handful of these wilds that have been floating around, so I don't know, maybe at some point I'll get a small one and grow her out and see what happens. The only other thing we got going on in here, and you probably won't see much at all, we have a handful of nanos. I'd say we probably got about 15 or 20 fry. The female decided to jump because obviously I don't have a lid on this one. The male's in here somewhere, camera shy too, but yeah, just a handful of nanos down here. This is actually the sump, but it's pretty usable space since we made it super big. I've had quite a few different fish down in here. Right now it's just kind of a cool spot to grow out these little nanos and hopefully get a pair. Got 2 males, no female, and the small group there. We'll go outside here to the garage, and this will be, I think, the first time that this tank has ever actually been on video. The new 400 gallon, and we actually have an umbie spawn. Let's see where she's got all the yeah, you can see she's got all her fry right down there underneath. They usually either sit down here or they sit dead center up in the middle. There's not a whole lot of fish in this tank at the moment. There's Prime right there. Excuse him in the shadow. I got the light pushed back from the water change and I didn't put it back. That's Prime, which is a Magnuson beast, offspring. Pretty cool freckles he's got going on. And this is B, Bumblebee. She'll be staying. Prime will most likely be moving on. We actually had Ragnarok show up, of course, the day they laid eggs and had their first spawn, so I figured why not, we'll let them kind of do their thing, get a spawn under their belt, kind of let them, you know, let them sort through it, work it out, figure out how to do it. They absolutely hate anything being in the tank. I went in to do water change and kind of siphon the bottom today, and they both went to attacking the gravelback and me. They're not super big. I mean, he's probably only 7 or 8 inches. The only other 2 fish we have in here is Carpentus and the male Cutteri, which I actually had to separate the male and the female. After we changed tanks, he went nuclear on the female, so these guys will actually be moving out of here. They're just kind of, I'm using them more for distractions than anything. I needed a space to put the Cutteri so that he'd give the female a break, and this Carpentus has just been someone that we've been kind of hanging on to. It's a female, kind of got a lopsided jacked up fin. Don't really want to say beater fish, but super aggressive and kind, you know, can definitely hold its own. At least with this one in here now. If I put Ragnarok in her, I don't think this fish would fare too well. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on here in this tank. Kind of get an idea. 11 feet gives me a nice amount of space to work with, and you know, regardless of the size of whatever we got going on in here, this will be a forever tank for whoever we end up either pairing with her or you know, I'm not sure who's going to end up being permanent residents in here. Most likely it would be her and a mate, but I haven't decided who yet at this point. Possibly Ragnarok, possibly another fish that some of you guys may know is going to be probably coming this way pretty soon. But that's it. I mean, it's a cool tank to look at. Not a whole lot of activity going on in it at the moment. just because it's you know, new and kind of empty. Down here, of course, he's not going to come out because he's only been in here for a little while. This tank has only been set up for a couple of weeks. This was actually originally the Cutteri setup, and this one developed a leak, so I ended up having to drain this, pull it out. You can see his nose right there. I put Aries in here because he was absolutely just decimating everything in the 220. No matter what I put in there, he wanted to kill it, and that's just kind of typical him. Super afraid of his own shadow when he's by himself, but you know, put another fish in the tank and he goes absolutely berserk. So this is just kind of a temporary setup right now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him. I'm actually looking for I'm looking to possibly sell him. He's not super huge, but at 9-10 inches he completely wore Scarlet out, and she was bigger than he was. So you know how it is trying to pair out large festi, and I've got a handful of other ones, including the one on the inside 300 from Scarlet and Triton that I'll probably end up probably keeping and doing something with. Yeah, he's not going to come out. But anyways, that's what's going on down there. Over here we have some kind of exciting things going on with the lion's eye finally. I moved them. They were in the 120 that was back against the wall, and I ended up moving them out here into this 125, and we got a spawn. It's not a super big one. You can see she's still a little tore up from the beating he put on her after the last spawn, but you can see, and they're kind of here and there and everywhere. They spend time on both sides of the divider with both parents. Most of them are down along the bottom feeding. Decent sized fry we got going. I'm guessing maybe 3 weeks or so at this point. So I'm hopeful that I'll be able to actually get these guys, you know, over that die-off hump that for whatever reason these guys seem to be pretty prone to. I keep saying I want to pull them out of the tank, and then every time I go to do it, I go, you know, maybe I should just leave them in there, because they've been actually, other than the divider in here for these two, because he just wears her out. They've both been pretty amazing parents. What I thought was him eating the fry was actually him spitting the fry back into the group. So he definitely figured it out finally, and she was actually laying eggs in this pot. She was halfway through the spawn when I came out, and I saw them lip locked, and I split them up a couple times. Came back out another 5-10 minutes later, and I couldn't find her, and she was actually down behind that pot, just shredded. And this is actually her looking good at this point. She was pretty wore out. I thought I might have got to her too late, but she's made a nice turnaround. She's been eating great. These guys are actually they were on power feed, and I moved them up to large cichlid. A little bit of chewing going on, which helps feed the fry, even though I do kind of spot feed those guys too. I make a powder of power feed, large, and the veggie. I just use a coffee grinder, grind it up, and you know, I feed all the fry that. But I'm guessing we probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe, I don't know, maybe 70 or 80, maybe more. I'm always off with my guessing on these guys, but judging by the egg count, it wasn't super big. But yeah, this has been one of those ones that we've been working on for quite some time, so we're pretty excited. And down below we have Ragnarok, who absolutely cannot stand that. The sponge filter actually was over behind this plant, and then it ended up on that top of that piece of wood, and now he's got it back down on the ground. But he's been doing good. Mike sent him maybe 2 weeks ago, a little less. And there's somebody's car alarm. It's always great. But he's been doing good in here. Was thinking about possibly pairing him upstairs with B in the 410, but Kind of on hold for that right now, just kind of seeing what we got going on. I may or I may not. He actually may be moving into the 220 and may go in there solo for, I don't know, a while. But he's a super cool fish. Cannot stand anything being in the tank with him at all. He's also on large cichlid these days, and he's been doing good. I need to get some bigger PVC. He can't actually fit in that one. He can fit in this one, and he actually swims through it, but that one is a little tight for him. But I didn't think he was going to be staying in this tank as long as he did, so that's why this is all kind of temporary and kind of hodgepodge. But he seems all right. Seems to be doing good. It's colored up nicely. Super personable. Definitely not camera shy at all. And we loved having him so far. I'll go around the bend over here. And sorry about the glare. We're getting ready to get in the bend where all the tanks are kind of facing each other. This is the male ribulatus, and let's see, where is the female? There's the female down over there. I actually pulled out fry. There's a handful of them still in here, probably 6 or 8 that I couldn't catch, but I've got most of their fry over here in this 32-gallon brute, and I'm hoping that the few that I left in there will keep them. They're getting ready to spawn again, and I'm hoping their bigger, older brothers and sisters will eat the fry and eat the eggs or whatever, because I don't need 500 or 600 of these guys, even though they're super cool and they spawn like crazy. Down below we have our RTM grow outs. I hesitate to say fry because these guys are actually a little bit on the large side of fry. I guess the small ones are maybe 3/4 inch, and then we have some that are about, I don't know, maybe 1 1/4, 1.5 inches on a few of them. There'll be 2 or 3 of these that I'm probably going to keep, depending on whether I actually keep RTMs or not. Kind of on the fence about them. At one point we couldn't find RTMs at all around here, and now 3 or 4 of us all have them and are all spawning them, and nobody wants them. And it's a shame they use these guys as feeders because they're so cool. But not the easiest fish to get rid of all of a sudden, believe it or not. But you see the big one down there in the piece of PVC. Gotta get that thread tape out of there. But yeah, these guys have been doing good. These guys have been on a mixture of both the small cichlid and I've been throwing a little bit of the color pellets in there for them too. They pretty much eat anything that hits the water, they'll eat it. Next door we have these are our Festi fry. These are from Scarlet and Aries. I know there's a handful of you guys that have been asking about these, and I've definitely got plenty, and definitely will be, selling off a handful of them. But I'm probably going to keep about 15 or 20 of these for myself and grow at least one female out, because I am female-less at this point. I've got 3 or 4 nice males, and I don't have any females, so I figure I'll find a nice female out of this group, and kind of switch gears and move into some other fish between the lion's eye and the umbies. Kind of got my hands full right now, but these guys eat the same fry mix that I've been feeding to everything else. The veggie, large, and the power feed all crushed up. And then above that we have, which believe it or not has turned out to be one of the hotter cichlids that we keep right now for some reason or another. Been a lot of people looking for these all of a sudden, which is crazy because I had never really pulled any of the Cutteri fry that I was getting. I mean, they've spawned, I don't know, at least probably 6 or 8 times since I've had them that I know of. And you can see Mama right there. Now all of a sudden it seems like none of none of the farms or none of the breeders or wholesalers can find these things. So I've been hit up by quite a few hobbyists. So I figured, all right, well, I'd grow the last batch out. It's not super huge spawn. I'm guessing maybe 50 or 60-ish that I got left, something like that. But yeah, they're starting to get kind of big, starting to wear mama out. Following her around like crazy. But I probably won't be keeping many of these at all. I may keep like an extra female. I may keep an extra female and extra male. They're small and they don't really occupy too much tank space. I got them in this 110 right now only because I had them over here in this 32 gallon. And yeah, I was just having a hard time seeing what sizes of what I had or how many and all that good stuff. So I figured I'd throw them up here and let them grow out in here for a while since all of a sudden people want them. But yeah, that's what we got going on there. Over here in the next 120, we have the, this is Clyde, the big male RTM. He's the breeder. Sorry about the glare there. He may or may not be staying. I haven't really decided. If I could find another big female, I might hang on to him because he's a super cool fish, but I don't know. Got so many different fish going on that, you know, I kind of need to figure out what I really want to focus on or don't want to focus on. But he's cool. He's I don't know. He's not nearly as aggressive, I guess, as most RTMs typically are. He was never really aggressive towards his female whatsoever. So I'm thinking, you know, if I could find a decent sized female, I may try again with him. He's definitely a cool fish. And down here we have the F1 ornatum, which these guys they've been putting on size. They grow slow. I mean, they grow probably about the same speed as you know, as the wilds did, in all honesty. Just keeping them high vegetable content, trying to keep the temperature down, give them a lot of hides, stress free. But there's 6 in the group. They're still relatively small. I got them when they were about 3/4 inch, and I'd say they've probably maybe doubled in size since I've had them. But I'm curious to see how they compare to the wilds. Because I believe this is from the first spawning or successful spawning pair, I believe, in the country. One of the farms down here was lucky enough to get a group of them in back last October or September, October, somewhere around there. And I was lucky enough to get a group of 6. So kind of keep them over here in a low traffic area, and hopefully in another 4 or 5 years I might be able to get a, you know, a nice pair or something. These are fish that require an enormous amount of patience. They just don't grow quickly at all. So but yeah, that's pretty much all we got going on over there. Over here, you can hear the commotion. This is sorry about that glare there too. This right here, you can see we have a pair, which, and I say that loosely. Their tubes have dropped both times. You can see the female on the back. She's laid eggs 3 times. He has done what looks to be fertilizing the eggs, but we never really see where they go or what ends up happening to them. I'm guessing by the way he's acting right now that they're ready to spawn again, or attempt to spawn again. Kind of on my little checklist of things to do, so that's kind of the only reason that I'm really trying to see. I've never successfully spawned any kind of pair of tilapia. I'm even thinking that she's a small spot and he's a big spot, so I'd probably keep a handful of fry and probably wouldn't sell them, you know, just more curious than anything. But other than that, the only other fish that we got in here is our female Aslanum. There's a male Aslanum in here somewhere, and then you can see one of our male Festi, who is pissing this guy off pretty fierce right now. This guy's probably going to be one that I'll hang on to for a while too. We got another little Festi down there. Can't really tell you whether it's a male or a female. That one's from Daytona Aquarium. Actually, I take that back. That one's from Mike Cichlids. That's a Daytona aquarium there. Glare is terrible in this area of the room. But anyways, that's pretty much all we got going on right now. Like I said, we've had quite a bit of stuff has changed, and you know, we've had some successful spawns, we've had some new additions, and you know, just a hobby. I mean, everyone goes through it, and this is probably the most exciting thing that we've had happen in a while, because I was just about to give up on these guys. And in all honesty, I still haven't figured out to keep him from trying to absolutely murder her regardless of what's going on. So that's next thing on my list, which once I pull the fry out of here and we have success with him, I'm going to try to figure out a different way to escape this tank to where she's got hides and he doesn't. But yeah, that's pretty much all we got going on right now, and I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking it out. I'll give you a side shot of the 410. These guys always think that it's time to eat when I come down here. But yeah, thanks for checking it out, and hopefully the next update will be a lot sooner than later. I know I've been slacking, but check out all the Team Aquatic support members. I will do my best to put them down in the comments, and thanks for stopping by.